Depending on how far you want to go down the rabbit hole, like of
Hmm.
disclose or not, you mentioned about 25 different ML models that you're working with.
Hmm.
Of the ones you want to be able to disclose, I mean, what are you typically working with? Obviously, vision AI to detect humans in motion, but also in terms of paint outs, like there's so many different aspects to what you're doing. So for you, what have been some of the ones that you've leaned into so far?
Yeah, I think for us is like we have algorithms that even detect what framing it is, right? It knows it's a wide shot or medium or close up because we're going to use different algorithms based on the shot. I think lighting and compositing is definitely something we built from scratch. That's a very, very big one for us. And that one probably works the best so far. Obviously, like people will upload portrait of an iPhone surrounded by white walls. And then you're like, all right, obviously that doesn't look good because I'm creating HDR map and noise and grain and color and all of that from just that video, right? So, we're analyzing where the light is hitting the face and etc. So our lighting and compositing team, this guy Maxim and Nesho, they started with us really early and they kind of took off. That's one department that I don't touch much because these guys are absolutely brilliant. And then pose estimation is a big one. It's AI mocap one. We obviously started with the base with some solutions on the market because you don't want to build everything from scratch. There's a lot of open source that can get you quicker because some of these things, if you want to build completely from scratch, you're gonna spend 5 years just to get like that 20%. But for us, like the optimization we use on the pose estimation is a big IP. We spend long time working on that. So that's something. We have the guy I mentioned, Alexander. He really is a brainchild behind it. But also we had people. We hired an astrophysicist as a PhD that was teaching at a university. This girl named Tiana, and she just like stepped in that optimization and has been killing it because we went with that. All right, let me get someone who understands physics really well, and they can go dig deeper in some of those. So I think there's a lot of models like that, and we have a platform that's local that we've been using internally that's probably like 6 months ahead of what we have on cloud, because bringing this on cloud is no easy task, right? Our soft dev team really worked hard to get this to work on cloud, because we wanted to stay true to that mission of being on a web browser, so we really can let people use it. That's why we went with Blender as a first export, because we wanted people to be, kids that don't have money, they can use our free tier and then just go use Blender and build on top of that and iterate as much as they want without having to use our platform. We are really big believers in that and trying to stay true to that mission. Now, obviously, the cloud is tough because of processing, the cost, right? It's not cheap to run so many models and rendering all that stuff in there. We have some exciting things that will release in the next 3 to 6 months. Some things that like was really hard not to launch with because we're like, this use case is even better, but they're like, take your time, let's make sure it works properly. So yeah, it's fun. I think there's we really call this a foundational technology because we build it in a sense of like, we call it scene understanding. If I can get the shot and get all that information in 3D space, then I can just keep adding stuff to it, right? I can add environments, I can add cars, I can add whatever I want down the line, as long as I have that foundation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really blown away by it, and I'm sure many other people are as well. I'm curious, like, how's it been received so far? And when did you initially do your launch? I know it's not public, like you've got a request access right now, but so officially announcing it as well as doing an official launch so far, how's it been received?
It's been really great received. We've been a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. We did not expect this high number of signups. So obviously a good problem to have. When we announced that video, which is about 3 weeks ago, I think, a bit more, that's when we released first users, and we'll be gradually releasing them. We're going to start releasing higher numbers now. The goal is really to stay in this closed beta just to get a sense of, these first users have been amazing. They've been writing to us and giving feedback and saying, okay, this doesn't work, this works great, this doesn't work. And so for us, it was really important for people to understand that it's not bringing your final VFX shot. And at the beginning, when we first launched, some people did understand it like that. And we were like, okay, let's onboard people gradually until we get this, like, we wanted that Blender file, which we just added this week, that you can download Blender file. And then people really understand, oh, okay, these elements. It's all about these elements if I'm a professional user. If I'm not, I just care about the final render. Yeah, for us, we're probably going to be probably another month and a half in closed beta, and then open it up completely for users. But yeah, it's been great. I think a lot of artists connected with our messaging, which is, let's get artists bigger, quicker to that, and let's amplify their work versus work on replacing the entire pipeline, entire process. I think that really was, for me, it was really important to see that.
Where do people go to sign up?
Yeah, so you can go to wonderdynamics.com to sign up. We're letting probably like 2,000 people a day right now on the platform. So we're trying to catch up. We have hundreds of thousands signups, which is a good problem just in a few weeks. But for us, what we're enabling is really that live action use case that we showed in a demo, but also individual elements. So if you just want to use it for AI mocap for your game development, that's perfect. If you want to use it just for painting, that's also perfect, right? So we have certain features that we're plugging out in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be just specific to those individual tools. We've been working with some of our partners as well in developing some things that we're excited to bring it out.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see where you guys are at even a couple of months from now, because it's been really mind-blowing, and I'm definitely excited to just see where this not only takes your company and everything you guys are doing, but also all the filmmakers and creatives who are able to leverage it to do all the things that, as you've mentioned before, like they couldn't do before because the learning curve, the price of entry, just in terms of computer hardware, everything, none of that's been accessible.
Yeah, and I think for us, what's exciting, we've been seeing with some of the first users, is that if we'll have some directors and cinematographers that never done VFX because they didn't have budget or they stayed away out of it, and they would know how to shoot and they produce beautiful results. But if they're going to do it for a movie, they need to hire a VFX artist or 3D artist to make that model. That was something important for us. Texturing, modeling, all of that stays in the hands of artists. So now that person that never thought of doing VFX content will get there quicker and be like, oh, I can do this. But then when they start making actual content that can have those irregularities and they can see breaks, certain animation will break, this will break. So I think that for me is exciting. And then on the flip side, you have 3D artists that up until now could just do like a render and put it on ArtStation of one photo of incredible. I mean, if you go on ArtStation, look at some of these artists, it's absolutely incredible what kind of work they're making. That was also exciting for us. Like, okay, you have a good 3D artist and good model or a good character artist, but they can't bring that character to life. It's kind of heartbreaking, right? Yeah. So that on the flip side, I think they'll start making more live action stuff, more animation, and then they'll end up hiring crew and cinematographer, and we'll just see more content of that. That's kind of naive vision of mine, but I do really, I really do hope that happens. And we'll be seeing it with first users, and it's really interesting to see that.
I love it.